Welcome! Today, we're diving into the basics of security deposits. Whether you're renting an apartment, leasing equipment, or starting a new service, you've probably heard the term security deposit. But what exactly does it mean? In this video, we'll break down the concept, explain why security deposits exist, and help you understand how they protect both parties in a transaction. By the end, you'll know exactly what to expect when you're asked for a security deposit and how it works in different scenarios. Let's get started by defining what a security deposit really is. A security deposit is a sum of money that a tenant or customer provides to a landlord, service provider, or business before using a property or service. This money acts as a form of protection for the owner, ensuring that if there's any damage, unpaid bills, or breaches of agreement, funds are available to cover those costs. Security deposits are common in rental agreements, but you'll also find them in other industries, like utilities or equipment rental. The deposit is usually refundable, provided all terms are met and no damages occur. The main purpose of a security deposit is to provide financial security for the property owner or service provider. It acts as a safety net in case the tenant or customer fails to meet their obligations. For example, if a tenant leaves an apartment with unpaid rent or damages, the landlord can use the deposit to cover those expenses. This system encourages responsible behavior and helps ensure that agreements are honored. It's a common practice that benefits both parties by setting clear expectations from the start. Security deposits are most commonly associated with renting property. When you move into a new apartment or house, the landlord typically asks for a security deposit before you get the keys. This deposit is held throughout your lease and is returned at the end if you've met all the terms like paying rent on time and leaving the property in good condition. If there's any damage or unpaid rent, the landlord may deduct those costs from your deposit. This process is standard in the rental industry. It's not just landlords who use security deposits. Many service providers, like utility companies or equipment rental businesses, also require a deposit. For example, when you sign up for electricity or water, the company might ask for a deposit to ensure you pay your bills. If you rent equipment, the deposit covers potential loss or damage. These deposits work the same way. They're held as a guarantee and returned if you fulfill your obligations. The amount required for a security deposit can vary widely depending on the situation. In residential rentals, it's often equal to 1 or 2 months' rent. For services or equipment, the amount might be based on the value of the item or the risk involved. Some states or countries have laws that limit how much can be charged. It's important to know the rules in your area so you're not overcharged and to understand what your deposit covers. Many regions have laws that protect tenants and customers when it comes to security deposits. These laws might require landlords to keep deposits in separate accounts, provide receipts, or return the deposit within a certain time frame after the agreement ends. Some places also require interest to be paid on the deposit. Knowing your rights can help you avoid disputes and ensure you get your money back when you deserve it. Typically, a security deposit is returned at the end of your lease or service agreement, provided you've met all the terms. This means paying all bills, leaving the property or equipment in good condition, and fulfilling any other obligations. If there are damages or unpaid amounts, the owner can deduct those costs from your deposit before returning the balance. The process and timeline for returning deposits can vary, so check your agreement for details. There are several reasons why a landlord or service provider might withhold part or all of your security deposit. The most common reasons include unpaid rent or bills, damage beyond normal, wear and tear, or failure to clean the property. It's important to understand what counts as normal wear and tear versus actual damage. Always ask for a detailed explanation if any part of your deposit is withheld. Normal wear and tear refers to the minor damage or deterioration that happens over time with regular use. This might include faded paint, small nail holes, or worn carpets. Landlords cannot deduct from your deposit for these issues. However, significant damage like broken windows or large stains can result in deductions. Understanding this distinction helps you know what to expect when moving out. To protect your security deposit, it's a good idea to document the condition of the property or equipment when you first take possession. Take photos, make notes, and ask the owner to sign off on an inspection checklist. This documentation can help resolve disputes later and prove that any damage was pre-existing. Being thorough at the start can save you headaches when it's time to move out or return the item. When your lease or rental period ends, most landlords will conduct a move-out inspection. This is their chance to check for any damage or issues that go beyond normal wear and tear. It's a good idea to be present during this inspection so you can discuss any concerns and understand what might be deducted from your deposit. If you disagree with their assessment, you can refer to your move-in documentation for support. To maximize your chances of getting your full security deposit back, make sure you fulfill all your obligations. Pay any outstanding bills, clean the property thoroughly, and repair any damage you caused. Leave the property in the same condition as when you moved in, aside from normal wear and tear. If you've documented everything and followed the rules, you should receive your deposit back promptly. The timeline for returning a security deposit varies by location and agreement. In many places, landlords must return the deposit within 14 to 30 days after you move out. They may also be required to provide an itemized list of any deductions. Always check your lease and local laws so you know what to expect and can follow up if there are delays. In some regions, landlords are required to pay interest on security deposits. This means that your deposit may grow slightly while it's being held. The rate and rules vary, so check your local laws or ask your landlord if this applies to you. If you're entitled to interest, it should be included when your deposit is returned. Always ask for a receipt when you pay a security deposit. This document proves that you've paid the required amount and can be useful if there are any disputes later. The receipt should include the amount, date, and purpose of the deposit, as well as the landlord's or provider's signature. Keep this document in a safe place until your deposit is returned. Some people confuse security deposits with last month's rent. While both are paid up front, they serve different purposes. A security deposit is held as protection against damage or unpaid bills, while last month's rent is simply prepayment for your final month in the property. Make sure you understand which payment is which and how each will be handled at the end of your lease. Not all deposits are refundable. Some landlords or service providers may charge a non-refundable deposit, often called a fee, to cover administrative costs or cleaning. This amount is not returned, regardless of how you care for the property. Always clarify whether your deposit is refundable or non-refundable before you pay. If you disagree with deductions from your security deposit, you have the right to dispute them. Start by asking for an itemized list of charges and any supporting documentation. If you still disagree, you may be able to negotiate with the landlord or take the matter to a local housing authority or small claims court. Keeping good records and documentation will help your case. Security deposits aren't just for residential rentals, they're also common in commercial leases. Businesses renting office space or retail locations often pay a deposit to cover potential damages or unpaid rent. The terms may be different from residential leases, so it's important to read your contract carefully and understand your obligations. When renting equipment like tools, electronics, or vehicles, a security deposit is often required. This deposit protects the owner in case the equipment is lost, stolen, or damaged. The amount is usually based on the value of the equipment. If you return everything in good condition, your deposit is refunded. Always inspect equipment before and after use to avoid disputes. Utility companies, such as those providing electricity, water, or gas, may require a security deposit when you start service. This deposit ensures that the company can recover costs if you fail to pay your bills. The deposit is usually refunded after a certain period of on-time payments or when you close your account. Check with your provider for their specific policies. Some laws require landlords or service providers to keep security deposits in separate interest-bearing accounts. This ensures that your money is protected and not mixed with the owner's personal funds. You may be entitled to information about where your deposit is held and any interest earned. Ask for these details when you pay your deposit. Landlords and service providers may use your credit history to determine the amount of security deposit required. If you have good credit, you might pay a lower deposit or none at all. Poor credit could mean a higher deposit. Understanding your credit score and history can help you anticipate what will be required. If you have pets, your landlord may require an additional pet deposit. This covers potential damage caused by animals, such as stains or scratches. Pet deposits may be refundable or non-refundable, depending on the agreement. Always clarify the terms before bringing a pet into a rental property. When renting with roommates, everyone may contribute to a single security deposit. It's important to agree in writing how the deposit will be handled if someone moves out early or causes damage. Clear communication and documentation can prevent disputes and ensure everyone is treated fairly when the deposit is returned. If you sublet your rental to someone else, clarify how the security deposit will be handled. Some landlords require the original tenant to remain responsible, while others may transfer the deposit to the subtenant. Make sure all arrangements are in writing to avoid confusion or disputes later on. When you renew your lease, your security deposit usually carries over to the new term. However, if your rent increases, your landlord may ask for an additional deposit to match the new amount. Always check your lease renewal terms and confirm how your deposit will be handled. If you end your lease early, your landlord may keep part or all of your security deposit, depending on the terms of your agreement. Some leases include early termination fees, while others allow for a partial refund. Review your lease carefully before making any decisions about moving out early. If you're evicted from a rental property, your landlord may use your security deposit to cover unpaid rent, damages, or legal costs. The process and your rights depend on local laws and the terms of your lease. Even in eviction, you may be entitled to a refund of any remaining deposit after deductions. If a landlord or service provider goes bankrupt, your security deposit could be at risk. Some jurisdictions require deposits to be kept in protected accounts, which can help you recover your money. If you're concerned, ask your landlord how your deposit is held and what protections are in place. Short-term rentals, like vacation homes or Airbnb stays, often require a security deposit. The process is similar to long-term rentals. The deposit covers potential damages or extra cleaning. Make sure you understand the host's policies and how the deposit will be handled before booking. If you're renting property in another country, security deposit rules may be different. Some countries require larger deposits or have unique regulations about how deposits are held and returned. Always research local laws and ask for written agreements to protect your interests. Some landlords or service providers may offer insurance as an alternative to a security deposit. Instead of paying a large sum up front, you pay a smaller monthly fee for insurance that covers potential damages. This option can be helpful if you're short on cash, but it may not be refundable. Compare the costs and benefits before choosing. Online rental platforms, such as Airbnb or VRBO, have their own rules for security deposits. These platforms often hold the deposit in escrow and manage disputes between hosts and guests. Always read the platform's policies and understand how your deposit will be handled before booking. Unfortunately, scams involving security deposits do exist. Always verify the identity of the landlord or service provider before paying a deposit. Never pay in cash or wire money to someone you haven't met. Use secure payment methods and get a written agreement to protect yourself from fraud. In most cases, security deposits are not considered taxable income for landlords unless they are kept for damages or unpaid rent. If you're a landlord, consult a tax professional to understand how to report deposits. Tenants usually don't have to worry about taxes on deposits unless they receive interest. Both tenants and landlords should keep detailed records related to security deposits. This includes receipts, inspection, checklists, correspondence, and any agreements. Good record keeping helps resolve disputes and ensures everyone knows what was agreed upon. Clear communication between tenants and landlords is key to avoiding misunderstandings about security deposits. Always ask questions if you're unsure about any part of the process. Put agreements in writing and keep copies for your records. Good communication builds trust and helps prevent disputes. When moving out, plan ahead to ensure you get your security deposit back. Clean thoroughly, repair any damage, and schedule a walkthrough with your landlord. Take photos and keep copies of all communications. Being proactive can help you avoid disputes and get your money back quickly. Landlords have responsibilities when it comes to handling security deposits. They must follow the law, keep deposits in the proper accounts, and provide documentation to tenants. Failing to do so can result in penalties or legal action. Tenants should know their rights and hold landlords accountable if necessary. Tenants have rights regarding security deposits, including the right to receive a receipt, an itemized list of deductions, and a timely return of their money. If you feel your rights have been violated, contact your local housing authority or seek legal advice. Knowing your rights helps you protect your interests. If you and your landlord can't agree on the return of your security deposit, mediation may help. Many communities offer free or low-cost mediation services to resolve disputes. Mediation can be faster and less expensive than going to court, and it often leads to a fair solution for both parties. To sum up, a security deposit is a financial safeguard for landlords, service providers, and tenants alike. It's designed to cover damages, unpaid bills, or breaches of agreement. Understanding your rights and responsibilities, keeping good records, and communicating clearly can help you avoid disputes and ensure a smooth process. Always read your agreement carefully and know the laws in your area. Thanks for watching. Now you know what a security deposit is, why it's important, and how to protect your money. Whether you're a tenant, landlord, or service provider, understanding security deposits can save you time, money, and stress. Remember to document everything, communicate clearly, and follow the rules. With this knowledge, you can handle security deposits with confidence.